Welcome to the new Campus Channel podcast, providing a voice for students, apprentices, and young graduates. They will be sharing their own personal experiences of work studies internships with you. Today, it's Scott's turn to tell you about his journey, which led him to a permanent position at Engie. Here we go on a new episode of L'Alternant. We hope you enjoy.
Hi, I'm Scott, 25. I'm going to explain you my background and explain you also what leads me to Engie today as a full-time employee. I am in France. I am a student in a high school in Versailles. I'm doing a terminal ES, which is a special track specialized in economics and social sciences. I'm not the kind of guy that you hear all the time and is always catching attention. I'm very rigorous. I finished my high school with a mention très bien at the baccalaureate. I was very proud of it because it was the end of the high school, and it was a big achievement. After that, I decided to continue doing a classe préparatoire, which is the very classical track for the very good students. But I decided to stay in Versailles, Notre-Dame-du-Grand-Champ, and I did a classe prépa HEC. It was the perfect track for me because I had no idea about what I wanted to do afterwards. Maybe finance, maybe marketing, maybe energy. I actually had no idea, and I remember that during the interviews, because when you enter in the business school, you need to pass some interviews, and it's so difficult because from one interview to another, I was saying different things and no idea how to explain and how to argue that I want to work in this field or another field. So I was a bit lost, but eventually I entered the business school. So I entered HEC, Paris, and at that time I know that I have 5 years, and 5 years was just enough for me to know what I wanted to do. And the biggest asset I had was, I wouldn't say that were the classes or the school itself, but it was the internships and the apprenticeship, because that's the biggest asset that you have if you want to know what you want to do in the future, because it's valuable experience when you can try, test, and interact with many people and decide where you want to go in the future. I decided to do a specialization in innovation management and engineering. So, and I thought that was very smart because even if I had a business background, I could, with this specialization, I could also have a engineering background, even if I'm not an engineer. But I could also enter this world of industrial companies, and during this year, I was very lucky, and I did an apprenticeship at Engie, and more especially in the hydrogen business unit of Engie. So it was in 2019, and I was very happy about this because working in the hydrogen environment was just the perfect thing for me, because it was at the same time there were a lot of engineers, so very technical, very industrial, but also I realized that with my business background I could also leverage on some of my assets, because in this kind of company, when you're totally different from other people, you can also you can leverage on your own experience and on your own assets. I would say that I decided to choose Engie because it was in the energy sector. Engie has a very a clear positioning towards the energy transition, and Engie is just one of the reference in the world. So you anywhere in the world when you say that you're from Engie, immediately you have some very good feeling from the people, and they consider you as a very promising people. You know, it's so easy then after to talk to people in the energy sector because Engie is a reference. My first impression is that it's just so huge, 155,000 employees. It's enormous. So you don't know everyone. You don't know all the activities of the group. So it's a bit difficult sometimes to know where you go, how you can evolve in such a group. But so that was the very first impression when you enter the building at La Défense. It's enormous. And then when you enter and when you have some meetings, you realize that the group is so powerful because so it's handling the gas network in France and in other countries, but it has so much power in the field of energy. And when Engie decides to do something, it has a huge impact in so many countries. So and when you talk to political actors, when you talk to competitors, you feel that a lot. So you feel that you are really a huge actor in the field, and you count. And people, sometimes competitors are afraid of you. So that's yeah. So as an apprentice, I would say that I have two main tasks. So the first one is I'm helping the project director completing the usual task of a project manager. So I need to follow up on various streams, so such as the legal, the finance, the public affair, the commercial track. So it means that interacting a lot with people and ensuring that progress is good, and we're making the right decision. So it's that was the first task, I would say, is assisting the project director in taking the right decision. So that's super interesting because you encounter so many people with different background, and you need to adapt every time to these people. The second task is that I need to do some market prospection. So I need to meet potential prospects and understand their needs, and discussing and trying to elaborate some new partnerships. So that's very commercial oriented, and that's very interesting, and a lot of interaction. And with this, you need also to be very much aware of the news in the hydrogen field. So I spent some time in the news, reading the reports and listening to different people, and with this it means that you need to also to be very innovative, because you cannot in innovative field you need to be innovative to make sure that because you're creating something from scratch, and you need to make it differently because it's required, to make things differently. So that's the second task, think differently and creating innovative projects. So when you internship or apprenticeship at Engie, you really feel like a standard employee, because you have all the benefits of the group, and I was part of the seminars, I was part of the all the big announcements. So that definitely you really feel part of the group, and at the end they even propose you some jobs. So because Engie has very strong targets, to hire apprenticeship. So you really feel part of the group, and the HR team is really helping in this regard. I waited a bit because to have a full-time job. It's not immediate, especially in big groups, but I waited a bit, and then I had an opportunity, and basically they created a job for me, so that was a huge help, and very grateful to the HR teams and the group itself for such an opportunity. And from my experience, you can see that to reach where I am today, I needed to go from one internship to another, but at the end I'm where I am today, and that's it was not a linear path, but it was my path. I'm very satisfied, and especially because in such a group you can imagine many opportunities. So even if, I cannot tell you that there are many things in I cannot promise you that if I look today in the HR website I can find plenty of jobs, but I know that in such a group, if I contact people, if I try to find a new job, if I try to be proactive, it's rewarded at the end. I would love to evolve and grow in this company, especially because when you work in hydrogen today, I can tell you that in 5 years the industry will be completely different, with huge activities. So all the things that I learned today are very huge value in the future. And I'm seeing myself at Engie in 5 years, and maybe in the hydrogen field, maybe not, but for sure at Engie, because you can work in different business units. So for example, you can work in the gas network, you can work in the solar, wind sector, renewables, but you can also work in different functions. So you can work in finance, you can work in public affairs, business development, like today. So you have a lot of different opportunities. So yeah, for sure. So yes, I would recommend Engie to young graduates, because Engie is a company doing bold moves, especially in the energy transition. It gives you many possibilities given its size and very diverse activities. Then Engie also gives so much credibility when talking externally, as Engie's name is known worldwide, and that's a big asset. Engie has very strong financing capabilities, so we can have some ambition, because we're strong enough, financially speaking, to invest and to have ambitious projects. The only difficult things at Engie is that sometimes the organization can be a bit complicated to understand, especially for newcomers. But at the end, you can manage, because everyone is very keen to onboard you and share with you their experience and explain you calmly what they know. So that's at the beginning it can be challenging, but at the end it's not a big deal. You need to be really proactive. You need to contact the HR team. You need to contact some people, and if you have something in mind, because you can imagine how a group like Engie is. So you need to contact people. You need to send emails. You need to contact through LinkedIn, and then you need to be pushy and create the job that you want to have. So that's the advice I would give you is that be proactive, and even in big groups like this, don't be shy. And even if I was shy when I was young, it's not in the business world. Is be pushy, be proactive, and you can reach what you want. And if you have some dreams, if you have some, if you want to work in a specific field, so for example at Engie, so if you want to work in a specific field like maybe biomethane, or if you want to work in gas network, just contact people and contact the HR, meet people, and then you can have a opportunity, I think.
I hope Scott's testimony has inspired and helped you to see a little more clearly. I'll meet you soon for a new episode of L'Alternant.